The head of the lake where we do have that 20 penalties confirmed earlier on for Susie Berry. It's now coming up on our system. Emma Klugman, the Australian.
Setting up the corner again on the turn, and inside the flag there. Good ride there, Andrew, Rakina 54, and he's out of the head of the lake.
After chasing up towards the polo fields there for Andrew now, Emma Klugman. Early part of the course for her. Hillside offset. What is the big stretch out early on, and now coming up the last question, Sustainability Bay, and the next, the fish is on the reverse side of the stretch. Tempting keenly enough, then they need the energy up the bank.
Come on, baby. Oh, good girl.
Stop, and now
And get home.
So here's our latest starter, Emma Klugman and Bronte Beach, just over that big table on the falling ground, coming to the Mars Equestrian Sustainability Bay. It's quite interesting because you're asked to turn right so quickly, the way your horse is seeing water but landing on the land.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, some horses like that a little bit more, and they kind of just wrap around that log, which gives you a little bit of an extra second. But, you know, they come around, they have to power up over that narrow and a really attacking distance to the corner there, which we saw Emma do so beautifully as Andrew starts climbing back up the hill here.
Yeah, Andrew, at this stage, should be just coming back on his way to the mound, so going to that probably drop bank fence. Emma Klugman, in the meantime, out on the chase course, setting up for the market stall table. And then it's going to be the Cosequin fences at 7 and 8, including the incredible Corgi. It's a Corgi for the 5 stars. There's a Daxi out there as well for the 4 stars that you will have seen earlier on if you were watching that division.
Emma, in her spare time, just happened to pass the bar exam. So was a full-time student, soon to be a lawyer and top 5-star rider, as we see this big drop down. Clever footwork there by Bronte Beach. And I think that's going to be the name of the game at that question, is that you've got to get in, get your eye up, hold your line, and the horse has got to do the rest of it. Derek's actually quite kind here. He gives it a nice triple bar. You can just gallop around, get a good shot, get some money back in the bank if you took any out at the complex before, as you head up to this actually fairly skinny oxer, and then you have to hold your line and be brave again to your first of a very narrow brush fence that you'll see a little bit later on after the third water.
Well, let's go out to Frankie and hear from Jenny Brannigan, our first home.
Well, some tears of joy here, and rightfully so, because Jenny Brannigan, that was absolutely a brilliant round. A lot of riders looking on as you absolutely tackled that course. And what did you think of the track? What feedback do you have?
I think it matters that you have a...
Up again, but as a rider, you just have to sit chilly.
This is, yeah, Emma Klugman coming through the water. In the interim, we've also seen Ariel Graald start up the course.
Very smart there. She should not get any penalties. She jumped in. She realized that corner was not going to happen. She did not present. She went around and did the slightly longer option. This is a big horse and a big jumping horse, and it also is looking a little bit like we might be getting a little tired. But the courses here are really long, and I don't know for anybody that's a runner, John, you spent a lot of time running, is that sometimes it comes in an ebb and a flow. You get tired, you think you can't run anymore, you keep moving, you take a breath, and you catch back up again. And that's what happens around these 5-star courses. The horses get a little tired, then they'll get their wind back, and they'll carry on again. And we'll see that. You see Emma's horses just pick right back up again, traveling up this hill.
And there's the days you go out and 10K feels like the worst, and other days it's so easy.
I've never said a 10K is easy, John. It's always the worst.
Felt easy. always the worst. I mean, I have to at the moment agree with you. I'm very, very out of shape, and my producer Tim Singer, who's my usual running buddy, is not keeping me up to the mark. So we have Ariel Gravel-Limor Masterplan out there at the moment as well, the World Championship combination for the USA at Pretonia in 2022. We'll catch up with them. We're focusing on Emma Klugman and Bronte Beach, because they go out with the best of the scores on course at the moment, 36-6 for this pair. And again, we've said it's really exciting for Emma now. You know, of course, heartbreaking to have lost Bendigo, but to have now a second five-star horse in her career.
Absolutely, and she's really thoughtfully produced this horse, being that it...
There, of course, the second water complex on course drops over the Corgi, looking in better form now as they go over the triple bar on the way out, opens up the road, and now...
And you get a gallop, so you can really use your horse and try and get a little bit ahead maybe of the minute markers.
Yeah, incredible step there you saw just on the third stride. He's almost elevate.
Good mare. Good mare. Come on. Turn. Yes. Woo! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Again, really feeling like that time's gettable.
So there was the first of our top 10 after dressage waiting in the start box, Calvin Bachmann with the Phantom of the Opera. As we go back to the Rolex Grand Slam Challenge. And Emma Klugman. And again, she just gives a real curve to that third element. You can be daring, you can really go for it, but it's about risk reward and balancing those two things, because you really, really increase the risk for the sake of maybe only 1 or 2 seconds to go super direct at that brush panel.
Absolutely, and smooth is fast. Smooth is fast, and she was very smooth there.
Liam, Roger, and Simone Bachmann. 13-year-old Warm Gelding. Again, it's their first 5-star outing. Last year they finished 6th and in the Munich.
And over in the water as the defender of the lake, Ariel Gravel, not having a great day, the opposite course.
Woo! Gelding. Again, it's their first 5-star outing. Last year they finished 6th and in the Munich.
And over in the water as the defender of the lake, Ariel Gravel, not having a great day.
Experience, and he just didn't see it.
So this is Emma Klugman on the way home. Of course, Ariel Gravel-Limor Masterplan, the score is going to grow with those 20 penalties picked up in the defender head of the lake. This is our first time really seeing this hollow, and it looks so bare this year. Everything is out on its own. She's going to go one of the longer routes.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting that this coffin comes so late in the course. And normally in the other class, it was very early, and I think it caused so many problems. I would not be surprised if there's a bonfire out there tonight. But it's at fence 21 on the 5-star, so it's a bit late. If it was at the beginning, I'd say, hey, here's your line, you know, get up to that line and use all the scope that you have to jump that massive corner. So good job on her part as we see Emma heading towards the finish here.
Yeah, good bit down on the time, really big as she goes through the mighty moguls and keeps going on towards the red top cabins, which indicate the 11-minute marker, and she's going to get there with about 45 seconds in arrears. Which, if she stayed on that, would translate to 18 time penalties. 0.4 of a penalty for every second over the optimum time of 11 minutes and 15 seconds.
Well, I think she'll be thrilled with this round. It's an exciting horse. It's a young horse. It's a great combination. Like you said, to have another one produced up through this level, I mean, what an attribute.